I am Stone Shields, and you are watching Bengals Breakdown. Unfortunately, the Bengals suffered a heartbreaking loss at the hands of the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium, 26-25. Really a game that it felt like the Bengals were in control for the entirety of the game, and ultimately they weren't able to get over the hump and win the football game. Lots of things that went wrong. Lots of things also that went right, so plenty of reason to still be optimistic. We will unpack all of that here on our instant reaction YouTube video. But before we do that, make sure you guys hit that sub button if you have not done so already. That's youtube.com/BengalsTV. We just wrapped up our second regular season watch party just a couple of minutes ago. Had a phenomenal time, fantastic time. And until the very end, that is, of course. And but we'll be doing them all season long, and eventually we're going to get a Bengals win here. So you don't want to miss out on that. We're going to have a great time. So help us out, help yourself out as well. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/BengalsTV. Number one takeaway is the turnovers. Some good, one not so good. The Bengals were able to force 3 turnovers against the Kansas City Chiefs. Akeem Davis-Gaither had an interception on Patrick Mahomes early on in the game. Jermaine Pratt had an outstanding forced fumble that he also ended up recovering as well. Just a tremendous play by the Bengals linebacker. And then Cam Taylor-Britt had a miraculous one-handed interception, literally one of the best interceptions I have ever seen against Patrick Mahomes. So they create 3 takeaways, but then the one that ultimately was one of the main reasons they lost this game, Burrow had a fumble when he was stepping up in the pocket trying to make something happen with his legs, gets taken down, and the Chiefs force a fumble, recover the fumble, and it's a little scoop and score action, turning that into 6 points immediately. So that really was a really killer in that game for Cincinnati. So technically they win the turnover battle, but unfortunately it doesn't result in any good things for the Bengals as they still lose the football game. Which leads us to the pinned comment of today's video. What is your one-word reaction to the Bengals loss versus the Chiefs? For me, it's just heartbreaking. You do everything right. So many good things that we'll, again, unpack here on today's show, but ultimately not enough. One too many mistakes, and you lose against your rival, who, of course, isn't an AFC North team, but nonetheless still a rival as well. So that's my one word. Sound off in the comments. What is your one-word reaction to the Bengals' loss versus the Chiefs? Certainly some more concern with the run game defensively, how they did stopping the run in this football game. Look, on that first drive, we kind of were sitting there like, oh, this might be kind of a bit of an issue. Just how easily Isaiah Pacheco was able to run through the Bengals' defensive front and really set the tone for them in the football game. But the Bengals were able to do a little bit better in that department as the game went on, but it still felt like every time Pacheco was getting the ball, he was getting at least 5 yards. So certainly not a recipe for success for Cincinnati. Obviously, Kansas City watched the tape. They saw what New England did to this team, and it was very clear they were going to try to run the football against Lou Anarumo's defense, and they had a lot of success doing that as well. So we will see if that's something that will improve as time goes on for Cincinnati, if it's going to be a personnel thing. Maybe they try to bring someone in from the outside. Their 2 rookies, McKinley Jackson and Chris Jenkins Jr., are guys that they hope can have an impact at those positions, but unfortunately, they're not able to stop the run. And also, Sheldon Rankins gets a little beat up in this game, had to leave for the locker room. Don't know exactly what his status is at this point, but especially when he came out, then you're throwing Zach Carter kind of into the mix, and it was certainly difficult for the Bengals to stop the run. Some positive news, Joe Burrow's back. There's no question about that. Certainly didn't look like himself week 1 against the New England Patriots, but I thought he rebounded and played really, really, really well today. Thought he saw the field a heck of a lot better than he did last week against New England. I thought he gave himself, more time before escaping the pocket and trying to kind of give up on the play and try to extend it with his legs. I thought he hung in there and did a nice job. Some of the physicality that you saw out of Joe Burrow, that one run that he had, you kind of going forward past the first down. I was getting tackled by numerous defenders. He got up and he was really fired up. That reminded you that the old Joe Burrow was back. The quarterback sneak down on the goal line where he took a massive shot and he still popped back up. I think Joe Burrow is 100% back. I thought he threw a lot of good balls today. The 2 touchdowns to Joseph Osh were really great decisions. He did a good job of being patient in those situations. And there was some concern that it might take a couple of games for Joe Burrow to kind of return to form. But I really think it was just one. That game against New England, that was really all the warm-up he needed. And Joe Burrow today looked like the Joe Burrow we are used to seeing here in Cincinnati. And that should be certainly a good sign as the season continues to progress. Before we continue with our takeaways here after the Bengals lost to the Chiefs, our little instant reaction video, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Game Time, because today's show is presented by Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Game Time Picks is the easiest way to find and buy tickets to live events. Bengals versus Chiefs was the Game Time game of the week in the NFL. Obviously, unfortunately, the Bengals drop that game. Really love the seat views. Get a panoramic view in your seat before you buy with Game Time so you're not getting blocked out by a foul pole or something along those lines that could hinder the way you watch the game. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Really thankful for Game Time and all they do for us here at Bengals Breakdown. Jamar Chase. This has to be a takeaway that you talk about. I thought from a football perspective, in terms of what he was doing on the field, saw a lot of good things. Thought Zac Taylor did a good job of getting the ball in his hands early in the game. He had to touch that first drive, drawing the PI on Trent McDuffie down the sideline. He made some good plays, when the opportunities were there. Obviously, Kansas City really tried to take him out of the mix, but I thought Zac Taylor and the Bengals did a decent job of still getting him at the football. However, the emotional breakdown that we saw from Jamar Chase is flat out unacceptable, and it is a losing football play to do something along those lines. He went after a ref, literally chased him down, and was barking at him. I think he was probably frustrated, saying that he was getting held all game. Only had the one call against McDuffie, and that frustration really boiled over in a position in the fourth quarter where that could not have happened, should not have happened for the Cincinnati Bengals. They lose the down to 15 yards, and they lose the down, so it was 3rd and a mile. And from there, their hopes of scoring a touchdown were gone. It was just a matter of, can we get an Evan McPherson field goal range? Thought Joe Burrow showed some great leadership, kind of getting him out of there and kind of shoving him and basically saying, chill out. Zac Taylor was trying to calm him down on the sidelines, but that is not a play that you make as a leader of this team. That's not a play you make as a winning football player. Jamar Chase let himself and his teammates down Sunday afternoon in Arizona, and he's going to have to bounce back from that and regain the trust of his teammates. Lastly, takeaway number 5, I thought Zac Taylor was really, really good in this game. He set the tone immediately. Bengals' first drive, they're kind of in no man's land. It was like a 4th and 4, and he said, we're going. We are absolutely going on this play. And if they don't get that, Mahomes has the ball at essentially midfield to start the game. But he trusted his offense and his personnel to go out there and execute, and they did. Also, down by the goal line, he was aggressive as well, went for it on the first touchdown to Andre Yosevich. I thought that was absolutely outstanding that he had the guts to make a decision like that, and really liked what he did offensively. He didn't get married to the run game like he tried to against New England. He really put Joe Burrow in good spots where he could get easy completions, and did a nice job of kind of getting him outside of the pocket again, giving him easy completions. I thought he had called a really brilliant game. But unfortunately, it isn't a losing effort. So to sum it all up, a lot of positives from this game. But if you're going to beat the best team in the National Football League, just a couple mistakes too many in this one for Cincinnati.